Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards and I'm going to tell you a story, but I'm also going to share a story about prospecting. Now, for those of you that don't know what prospecting is, it's basically going after a player that as a young player, he hasn't done anything yet, but he might do something in the future, and the value of his card will explode. And I'm not much of a prospector, but I've learned my lesson. But sometimes I keep doing the same thing. But before I tell you the story and before I show you some cards, I want to apologize to Huck Sports Cards. Now, I won a video response challenge from Huck Sports Cards, and what he wanted us to do was he wanted us to tell us who the 5 greatest players were. And I kind of did it a little bit different. I did a video on players from different sports. So I chose 5 different cards and took what I thought was the greatest. Like I had a Jack Nicklaus card. I had a Wayne Gretzky, something like that. So I showed those cards plus my Babe Ruth card, and I did the response, and I actually won. And what I won was a box of 2022 Bowman. Now, what I wanted to do is I wanted to open it up on this video and show you the cards, but I don't know how to edit videos. So if I screw up, I screw up. And I got about 10 minutes into this, opening up cards in this video that I was doing, and I realized the video camera was not on. Now I can see that this one is on, and this is what I won. And so if you have not watched Huck Sports Cards, go over to his channel, give it a like. He's a great guy. He tells stories, and I just love it when a YouTuber tells stories, and he really shows his personality. And the other item that I want to show you before I tell my story is this. Now, this is Bob Gibson, and it was given to me for a Christmas gift from Scott at Reindeer Studios. Now, you guys know Scott because he's everybody's best friend, and he's surely a good person in the hobby, and he does so much for everybody. But again, it's Reindeer Studio. Get over there and take a look at his channel as well. So this story begins like this. In 1981, I'm 13 years old or 14 years old. And I decided I wanted to become rich. And so my plans to become rich was not only was I going to get one card, but I was going to go after a bunch of one player. And so I just researched and knew who was going to be great. And there was new cards coming out called Fleer and Donruss, and I knew they were going to be successful and they were going to make me rich. And I was going to use the money to someday buy a car. I was going to prospect and go after 50, wait for it, Joe Charbonneau rookie cards. Now, I went after 50 1981 Donruss Joe Charbonneau rookie cards. I paid $3 a piece at a card shop in Sedalia, Missouri, prospecting, because I just knew they were going to make me rich. Well, if you don't know who Joe Charbonneau is, you're not from Cleveland, because he's still a fan favorite in Cleveland. He's an idol, and his career was really short. But he did win Rookie of the Year for Cleveland, and he did get a song written about him, and he's just kind of a folk hero there. But that's about all. His card now, which I can't find the cards, but I promise you're going to have to believe me. I'll find it someday and I'll prove to you that I have it. But I bought 50 of these Joe Charbonneau cards for $3 a piece, and that was $150. And to me, that was a lot of lawns that I was mowing to pay for that Joe Charbonneau card. Well, it didn't pan out. And so Joe Charbonneau didn't become such a player. Now, you're wondering, what in the world why do you need the 50 Joe Charbonneau cards? And you're right, I didn't need that. Again, I was trying to get rich. And sometimes you really screw up chasing money. But you also can use, people ask, why do you have so many of one card in your collection? Well, you can use those cards to get better cards or to get other things. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you what I have prospected, and I've only done it a couple times. But I'm also show you the reason sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a lot of cards of one particular player in your collection. So the first card I'm going to show you is a rookie card of George Brett. Now, one time I had over 15 of these cards, and I don't think I got him prospecting, but he was, one of my favorite players. And I ended up having at one time over 15 George Brett rookie cards. And I used those to be able to purchase an engagement ring for my wife. Now, I think I made a pretty good trade. We've been married 31 years. And so, I got a few of the George Brett rookie cards, and she still has that engagement ring. So I guess it's all worked out. So now I'm going to try to do a little tabletop showcase, just a small little showcase of two different people that I have prospected. And I'm just going to show you a small portion of their cards that fit on these little TV trays. So bear with me if it gets blurry or... So the first one I actually went after and prospected after learning my mistake from the 81 Joe Charbonneau is the Mike Trout. Now, I have a few Mike Trouts, and I'm not going to, when I get the chance, I'm going to keep me a Mike Trout for my collection because he's going to become a Hall of Famer. But given the right opportunity, I'm going to trade some of these cards for a bigger and better card. Now, I'm pretty excited because tomorrow is opening day. And the one that I'm going after now, prospecting, happens to play on my favorite team, the Kansas City Royals. Now, you've heard me talk about the Cincinnati Reds, but the Kansas City Royals are now my favorite team. And I am prospecting Bobby Witt Jr. Now, I hope and pray that he turns out more like Mike Trout than Joe Charbonneau. Now, I pretty much collect base cards and some autographs while I'm prospecting. Show you that again. And these only just a few of his cards that I have to show you. I have more maybe at a different time. But again, let me turn this around so I can talk to you. I feel a little better. So like I said, tomorrow's opening day, and I'm excited for it. I mean, even small market teams, on that first week or two of baseball, you have some hope that your team's going to be better. And everybody's starting off with a clean slate, and you just never know what's going to happen. And I feel pretty good about the Kansas City Royals. Not that they're going to win the World Series, but I remember back in 2000, when they won it in 2015, I remember saying in 2013, 2 years earlier, that, man, these guys are going to be good someday. And I got me some cards of players on that team, and I think the only one that has on that 2015 team that has a legitimate chance of being in the Hall of Fame is Salvador Perez. And I have a lot of Salvador Perez cards, but I didn't prospect Salvador Perez. And I'm not going to use these cards to get rich, but what I am going to do is I'm going to turn some of these duplicates, and they're going to be turned into a bigger or a nicer card that I don't have in my collection. So, again, I am so excited about baseball. Being on YouTube this past 5 months has gotten me more excited about collecting cards and more excited about baseball in general. And I wish you guys luck with your team. And if you want to, leave me a little note. Tell me who you prospect. I'd like to know that just in case I run across some stuff and maybe I can help out. But again, good luck to you and your team this year. And remember, it's only a hobby. Collect what you like.